After the events of the loop, things went back to normal for the rest of the Steves. They went on to have their own adventures and grow as a society. This is Rainbow Quest Aftermath, The Green Kingdom, Part 4 of the 8-part series. The Green Leader walked out from the main shopping center in the Green Kingdom, his new outfit in hand. As he walked back to his home, he noticed that his people were thriving once more after the threat of the first curse. He walked into the throne room, up the stairs into his bedroom, and quietly sat at his desk. The Green Leader stared out of his window and at his kingdom with a mixture of happiness and quiet nostalgia. The last time he had seen his kingdom in such prosperity was back when they were in isolation, and they had been prospering for generations. But when his home was destroyed and he had been corrupted, the prosperity had been completely taken away. Then, even though it was for a short period of time, it was given back with the creation of the Rainbow Kingdom, then taken away once more when it was disbanded. But now, he and his people finally had time to live their lives as they had before. He sighed, then stood, put on his new outfit, and began a new age. A new time. After the Red Steves had revealed themselves to the rest of the Steve civilizations, a small operation from the Professor began at as many kingdoms as possible, so that they could power these kingdoms with the Redstone Towers, which was then in turn powered by the Red Core in the distant Red Kingdom. Each leader was made aware of the operation, and of course asked for permission to set up this technology. The Green Leader had never seen technology to this extent. While he had heard and seen machines before, it was difficult for him to wrap his head around it. He eventually sat down with the Professor and asked him various questions. By the time the queries had concluded, the sun had begun to set upon the Green Kingdom. He gave Professor Red permission to put up the Redstone Tower, but will contact him if the leader feels otherwise about the machinery in the future. Now less confused about the nature of the towers, the Green Leader spoke to the Green Guards of his kingdom. They expressed they had the same concerns as the Green Leader did. He eventually told them that if they didn't like the new technological installments, they had direct permission to take them down, but that they should also give it a chance. However, in the days that followed, rumors of this technology began to spread. Stories of pollution and decreased fish life, that the local crops had started to grow at a slower rate. With these concerns and rumors floating around, the leader and his 2 green guards led an investigation. They would watch the growth rate of the crops and how many fish were in the ocean surrounding their home. Over the course of about a week, they concluded that these rumors were ill-placed. However, enough damage had been done. Even though not all Green Steves believed these rumors, enough had. As the leader and Green Guards took in opinions about the Redstone Towers, they concluded that for them personally, the displeasure in the presence of highly advanced technology to push their society forward was too great to ignore. Some Green Steves had started to make plans on leaving the kingdom in full, and instead of utilizing the technology, they would return to nature, as they did not have any interest in being in a kingdom that prioritized technology over their values. These plans eventually made their way to the leader, who was troubled by this. He did not value technology over his people, and consoled this group of Steves, and informed them that he had already had plans to take down the installments. While the group was satisfied, they still felt cooped up, and even brought up the possibility of going back into isolation. The leader denied this and didn't allow them to fully explain the idea. He asked them why they felt this way and reminded them they could go anywhere they wanted, to any kingdom, and that they were not confined. The Steves walked away, oddly disappointed. Later that same day, the Green Leader went to his messenger and requested he inform the Professor that he would like to meet with him. The messenger understood and teleported away to contact the Professor. Not long after the messenger had been sent out, Professor Red walked into the leader's throne room with an odd robot by his side and asked why he had been summoned in a solemn, professional manner. The leader recalled their conversations about the Redstone Towers and their effects. The Professor's memory was not so clear, but understood enough. He asked if he would deliver on his end of the deal, that if the Green Steves did not see the use in the installments, the Professor would take them down. Now, disappointed, the Professor agreed to take down the towers and gestured for his robot to come along. By the early morning, the sun peeking through the thick jungle leaves revealed that the Redstone Tower had been dismantled, and the Professor and his assistant were nowhere near to be thanked for their services. A few days had passed since the group of Green Steves had met with the leader. In that time, they had furthered their idea of leaving by reading older tales of places they had never heard of. Documents that described wildly overgrown cave systems and high mountains with ancient plant life that hadn't been touched. They grew ambitious and adventurous. They would meet with the Green Leader once more and recite their newfound knowledge and request. They wanted to go out and explore these areas. It took some persuading, but eventually, the Green Leader accepted their proposal and allowed them to go on this expedition. The group was ecstatic once they left. The adventurers were given a special departing gift from the Green Leader. In their stories, it spoke of a great and terrible ocean dividing these lands. So, in preparation for the upcoming journey, the leader fashioned them a boat stocked with resources they would need to set up camps, enough food to make it across an ocean, and then some. As they did not know of these locations, they could not teleport wherever they wanted. They had to walk or sail there. The adventurers thanked the Green Leader heavily as they boarded their new vessel, lowering the sails and leaving. Now, with everyone satisfied, the leader and the Green Kingdom continued to go about business as usual. But far away, in a distant ocean, in a raging storm, one of the adventurers looked upon the horizon and saw it: land. Within hours, the storm had cleared and their vessel had been anchored to a nearby shore. As they ventured through these lands, they saw beauties they had never seen before. Large flowers and completely abstract plant life never grazed upon. Some grew berries, others grew large flowers. In a valley they had stumbled upon, the grass was as green as the jungle, but the trees were more like birch than anything jungle-like. They then found a cave behind a large waterfall, and there it was, their favorite discovery yet. The lush caves. There grew beautiful plants that sprouted glowing flowers and berries. Large vines hung from the ceiling, and small creeks and waterfalls riddled the cave system. This is it. This was their new home. Their cartographer completed their maps and travel route. Their researcher then returned to the Green Kingdom via teleportation. He ran up to the leader in a frenzy. He explained they had found the lands they sought out and must set up a meeting with the leader as soon as they had set up a camp. The leader agreed, albeit a bit nervous. As the dim morning sky rippled across the water, the Green Leader woke an ambition for the upcoming day. He had requested the company of an Indigo Steve to accompany him to this land his citizens had rediscovered. He did this in the hopes that the Indigo Steve could strengthen all their connection to this location for more accurate future teleportations. As the researcher met up with the Indigo Steve and Green Leader outside the kingdom, he told them how excited he is for the leader to see this bold new land. As the lightning crackled from the ensuing teleportation, a feeling of new wonder and hope seemed to radiate from the Green Leader, a feeling he had not felt since he rejoined society. As the lightning hazed over the leader's vision, his eyes began to adjust as he saw the beauty of this new land. The researcher excitedly began to give the leader a tour of the local land they had explored. Sometime later, as the sun set, the leader was led into the lush cave, where a more developed camp had been set up. Now, a collection of a few shaggy huts, a good few campfires, and dirt paths to different parts of the cave. The main expeditioner walked up to the leader and informed him that, though his day had been long, they still had a lot to discuss. He proclaimed that they came here to satisfy their need for exploration and selectivity. He had wondered if this could be a secondary kingdom, or more of a settlement for like-minded Steves, not just Green Steves. Though the Green Leader at the beginning of this operation was hesitant, a new sense of appreciation and pride came over him. He expressed that he was very willing for that to happen, and though the adventurers did not need the leader's permission, it was still a very kind courtesy for them to extend. He told them that he would be more than willing to have the settlement be under the categorization of the Green Steves as a people, not a kingdom. The main expeditioner thanked the leader thoroughly and offered somewhere for the leader to stay overnight. The leader declined politely and then began to leave with the Indigo Steve that accompanied him. About a week after the leader had met and officialized the Green Steve settlement, the town began to gain a reputation as a few Steves across the spectrum visited them in curiosity. Some stayed, but many left. The Green Kingdom would establish a line of support with resources to the settlement. Though sea travel was a difficulty they managed, the Green Leader went on a walk around his kingdom. He walked around the port town. Everyone was satisfied, and that by itself was his greatest accomplishment to date. Not the resources, or the prominent trading hub that was his kingdom, but his friends, his community being satisfied perfectly by all their needs and desires. The adventurers had appointed temporary new leaders for their settlement. As the adventurers packed up once more and walked down the road, past the path to the beach, and towards unseen land, they looked to their new horizon, a brand new, ancient, and old land begging to be discovered. They set off for adventure. Now, with the adventurers doing what they do best, the Green Kingdom satisfied, and a new settlement being sprung up in an ancient land, that concludes Rainbow Quest Aftermath, the Green Kingdom. Like with many things in life, moving forward and change can be tough. The Green Steves chose to explore, go on adventures, and discover new paths. Thank you for watching part 4 of the 8-part series. As always, a huge massive shout out to my super supporters who are shown on screen now. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to check out my other videos, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, as well as comment down below what you want to see me do next. And as always, I'll see you next time.